The history of obstacle racing. Known as Spartans, Gladiators, Death Racers, or Mudrunners, people who participate in obstacle racing are some of the toughest, and possibly most crazy, depending upon who you ask, adventure sports participants ever. If you have ever participated in one of these grueling races, you know that these races are extremely tough, very brutal, and push you to the edge of stamina and pain, and you probably absolutely love it. The immense high you get when racing, the agony you feel when you take a misstep, and the pure satisfaction and sense of accomplishment that floods you when you cross the finish line are all something that most obstacle racers simply cannot let go of. If you're new to the sport or looking for a bit of an education, here is a bit about the sport as well as the history of obstacle racing. What is obstacle racing? This may seem like an obvious question for those who have raced before, but for those who haven't, obstacle racing is like mixing the toughest military drills with a 5K, all while dealing with things like pools of mud and jumping through fire. In essence, these race courses are designed to break participants both physically and mentally. In most races, your endurance, speed, strength, and dexterity will all be tested. As a racer, you will be expected to complete a variety of tasks, and if you fail, there will be penalties like squat thrusts, which can make finishing even more difficult. The history of the sport. Though obstacle racing in its modern form has only been around since the mid-1990s, there have been races with obstacles around since the time of the ancient Greeks, who added these types of races in their ancient Olympic Games. In more contemporary times, races like the steeplechase gave way to more difficult and demanding races like our current type of obstacle racing. Along the way, new genres of racing were developed, including mudruns. These races put one obstacle in the way of competitors: huge mud puddles. This is not normal mud either. The mud that is concocted for mudruns is typically mud of the thickest, heaviest, most slimy variety, sticking to your body and holding you back from your goal. Adventure races. Typically, adventure races will go a step beyond obstacle racing, in fact, if there is such a thing. Though very similar to obstacle racing, adventure racing adds different elements like kayaking, rappelling, horseback riding, and orienteering. Adventure races typically go for several days, so exhaustion is always a big factor. The first known series of adventure racing was introduced in 1995 by Mark Burnett, who produced Survivor. Obstacle racing is considered by many to be a hybrid of mud running and adventure racing. Over the years, many notable races have been introduced to the public, and they have become widespread and popular events. They've become so popular, in fact, that it is estimated that amateurs are beginning to become professionals, and a governing association, the World Organization for Obstacle Course Races and Challenges, was established in 2012.